Hi guys, Olive here, coming to you from a slightly different location than normal. I am directly opposite from where I normally sit, so still in the same room, but my bookshelves are across from me versus behind me. I'm here in my very comfy, very large reading chair that I love beyond words. I wanted to do a really casual DEWEY'S 24-hour readathon wrap-up of sorts. The readathon did not go entirely as planned for me. I got a text message from a friend of mine who's also a booktuber. I will link her channel down below. It's been a while since we've seen each other and we were trying to find a time to get together, and she texted me that she was back in town and asked if I would like to go book shopping. And of course, I wanted to go book shopping with her. So I ended up spending a good portion of the day going out shopping with her. And then when I got back home, I was less in the mood to read and more in the mood to hang out with my husband. But I did end up reading a little bit. I thought I would tell you what I'm reading and then maybe just have a little chat, life update. Something fun like that. The first book I absolutely knew I wanted to page through during the readathon was Franklin's Flying Bookshop by Jen Campbell, our own Jen Campbell. I pre-ordered this a really long time ago because this is going to be a Christmas gift for my nieces. But before I send it to them all wrapped up as a present, I wanted to look through it, and it is just as beautiful and magical as I knew it was going to be. It's been a really long time since I've read a children's book, and I enjoyed reading this so much. I may or may not have read it aloud to my cat. I'm very glad I got to spend some time with Franklin because in a few short weeks, he's going to be covered in wrapping paper and on his way out to go live with my nieces. My method of picking my next book for the readathon was very scientific. I picked what was on the top of the pile. The thing that was on top of the pile was The Kitchen Boy, a novel of the last Tsar by Robert Alexander. I had listed this on my TBR as something I might get to if I read everything else, so of course I picked it up first. This is a piece of historical fiction that focuses in on Nicholas II, the last Tsar of Russia, and his family when they were in exile in Siberia. If you know anything about Russian history, you know that Nicholas II and his family were killed by the Bolsheviks in Ekaterinburg in 1918. As the title would suggest, this book is from the perspective of the kitchen boy who was working in the house where they were being imprisoned. I have mixed feelings about this book because there were a lot of good parts to it. I found myself enjoying reading it, and it's so short, it was very, very easy to blow through. I really liked how Robert Alexander portrayed specifically Nicholas and Alexandra. I felt he gave them a lot of humanity. And from what I know about their personalities, it seemed very true to who they were. Also, to a lesser extent, I felt that the children received a lot of personality as well. I don't know how much of that is me bringing in my own knowledge of Nicholas II and his family, but I do think that Robert Alexander helped you get there in understanding who they were as people. So that was definitely impressive. Things that bothered me about this book. First and foremost, there are a lot of transliterated words, and immediately after the transliteration is what it means in English. It obviously makes the book a lot more approachable for people who don't speak any Russian, versus a book like Back to Moscow by Guillermo Rades, where they're just throwing transliterated words at you with no definitions. You have to gather from either context or an existing knowledge of Russian to be able to understand what they're getting at. I personally did not need those translations as I do speak some Russian. I see why they're there, but what bothered me about them is that there are a lot of common Russian sayings that are used over and over again in the book, and they're translated every time. At what point do you just expect the reader to know what that means if it's been used 3 or 4 times previously? So that was one thing that definitely got to me during the reading experience of this book. And the other thing that really bothered me, I can't say too much about without spoiling the ending of this book, but I will say that I get a little bit touchy about stories relating to the death of the Romanov family. People like to take a lot of dramatic and, in my opinion, disrespectful liberties with the story of what happened to the Romanov family. It is a tragedy and it shouldn't be played with. So really, I don't know how much historical fiction I should really be reading about what happened to the Romanov family in 1918. Inevitably, it's going to make me angry because it's not going to be true to what actually happened, and I'm not going to feel like it's honoring their memory. Mostly, this book stayed true to what actually happened, so it had that going for it, and it's the reason why it got 3 stars instead of 1 or 2 stars for me. But I know that this is a touchy subject for me in general, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt. It might not be your experience with this book. I think it's a decent piece of historical fiction. I do feel that it stayed true to who the Romanovs were as people. I think it definitely portrayed their situation accurately. If you're looking for something like that, it is definitely something I would recommend to you. Hi, Thea. Come say hi? Come here. Say hi. Hi, Thea. I've got to let her out. All right, she's off to cause trouble elsewhere. Those two books were pretty much the only thing that I managed to finish during the readathon. After I got back from book shopping, I finished up The Kitchen Boy and then did pick up City Folk and Country Folk and read a few pages of it. And then just kind of fell out of the mood to read and wanted to hang out with my husband for the rest of the night. I am going to continue reading this today, and I'm really excited about it because it's very approachable and it's been enjoyable to read so far. I don't know how much reading I am going to get done today because I am going to go out and do some fall things with some friends, which I'm very excited for. I'm really trying not to beat myself up with the number of books that I'm reading this month. I had a really good reading month. Last month I had a ton of momentum going. I think I finished 10 books. And this month is definitely not going to be that. It's been a busy month for me so far, and it's going to continue being a busy month for me. I just have a lot of things planned this month. All good things, all fun things, things I'm really excited for. But if I'm doing those things, I can't also be reading at the same time. And unless I have a ton of momentum going, I'm not going to finish all the books that I set out to read. Like I talked about in my BookTube Imposter Syndrome video, it's hard to feel like I'm not doing something I'm supposed to be doing if I'm not getting all the reading done that I want to. Like it's really difficult for me right now not to beat myself up for going out book shopping yesterday instead of spending the full 24 hours reading like I was intending to. I am actively trying to cut myself a lot of slack and give myself room to go out and do other fun things that don't involve reading. I'm also trying to take it easy on myself because next month is Nonfiction November and I plan on going really hard. I'm like beyond excited for the books that I have picked out for myself, which you will see this upcoming Thursday. But anyway, I know I did promise that I would make this video talking about what I read for DEWEY'S. And even though it didn't end up being that much, it's nice to have a little chatty video like this. I know a lot of booktubers do them. I typically don't for whatever reason. If you like it, let me know. Maybe I'll do them more frequently. Let me know down in the comments how you ended up doing with DEWEY'S. Did you read a lot? Did you enjoy yourself? Also, if you want to chat with me about anything not relating to DEWEY'S, you can put that in the comment section below, or you can find me on a variety of different places on social media, and the links to all of my profiles are in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my very exciting next video. Bye.